I am 28 years old, and at the age of 21, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis and primary sclerosing cholangitis. Say that fast 5 times, I'll give you $100. Okay? What it is it's a colon disease and it's a liver disease. It's autoimmune, so it has been in my system, and it's just decided to rear its head on my 21st birthday, actually. For the entire beginning of my 20s, up until about a year and a half ago, I didn't look like this. I was 85 pounds. I was in a hospital bed. I literally called my family in one day and said, I'm going to die. It was that bad. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, and lo and behold, I had a little bacteria infection called C. diff. Has anybody ever heard of that? Any nurses in here? Yeah. C. diff is the most ugly bacteria infection that you will ever experience. On top of ulcerative colitis, it is a constant drainer. So I fought it for 3 years. I have medical bills in the hundreds of thousands. Okay? I come from a very small town. My parents were part of the upper end of the community, but we weren't super rich. But in my 20s, I'm an adult. I have my own house. I need to pay all my bills. And although my parents helped me, I'm sorry, but they didn't have $450,000 to pay my medical bills. I wasn't working, obviously, so I didn't have insurance through a company. I was part of a black, green, and bling company at that time. And although it was helping a little bit, it just wasn't working for me. I did advance ranks fairly quickly in that company, but $450,000 in medical bills, and I had a team that was struggling underneath me. So what I needed to do is I needed to find a solution. And I was scrolling through Facebook, and that was when we were allowed to advertise on the garage sale sites about selling the product. And lo and behold, I see this amazing picture, and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at our flashes. Mind you, this is 3 o'clock in the morning because I can't sleep. I'm all hopped up on all these medicines trying to keep everything under control. And I look into it and I go, this is it. This is my calling. I know it. It's 3 a.m. So I don't know if I was just tired or what was speaking to me. But that was my calling, and I believe that. So I said, this time, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. Because my sponsor in the old company, she ran her auto shipment, and she was making $5,000 off of me a month, and I never heard from her once. So what I did is I went 3 in the morning, and I messaged 12 presenters within the company on Facebook. And I still to this day have yet to hear back from one of them. So check your other folders. If you've been in the company before November 2013, I probably could have been yours. I even messaged the corporate Facebook page. And I said, I want to know who's top of this company because that's who I'm signing with. And I expected them to answer me at 3 a.m. and of course they didn't. So I was determined. So I went to the website, started searching around, and at that point, that's when they had the leaderboards. They were a little different. Cindy Brancato had the highest PRS for that particular time at 3 a.m. in the morning. And I messaged her through Facebook, and I said, you need to call me as soon as you wake up in the morning because I'm joining your team. Well, the next morning, Sherry Brown was the top of the leaderboard, but I didn't know that. I found out later. And I signed up with Cindy Brancato the next day. And it has been a phenomenal experience so far. I can tell you that I have paid off almost half of my medical bills, and they'll probably all be paid off by the end of this year. So that was my why. My why has now changed, and you'll realize as you're going throughout the company, your why will change. Why you started a company might not be why you continue to work that company. My why now is because if I can change my life, how many other women's lives on my team can I change? That's my why. I want to be able to take a woman's life that's struggling and say, listen, here's this gift that I have for you. Let me help you change your life. That's my why. So why you need to figure out what your why is because when you're down and out and you feel like giving up, because we've all been there, I was just there last week, you have to hold on to something that's going to kick you in the rear and say, get it going. What's going to keep you going? And if you don't know what that is, take a minute for yourself, go in a room, shut the door, meditate, whatever you have to do. Figure out what your why is, and you'll know when you found it because it's either going to give you butterflies from excitement or you're going to start bawling like a baby. And that's the only time you know that you have really found your why. A lot of us are probably sitting here going, well, you know, I just want to be able to pay my bills. Or I just want to send my kids to college. Those are great whys. But what happens after that? What's the bigger picture? What are you really trying to do for yourself and your family? Or what are you trying to do for other women? If it's not for you, if you have everything you need and you're just in this to make some extra cash and to join a sisterhood and have friendships, what is your bigger why? What is your purpose? And you have to really manifest that. And when I say manifest it, really sit and imagine, if I achieved this goal, what would it feel like? Honestly, deep down in your soul, what would that feel like to achieve that? As a little girl, I used to tell my family and my friends all the time, I used to say, I'm going to be on a billboard. I'm going to be on a billboard. I'm going to be in the lights. Everybody's going to see me. Because I was one of those little girls that I always had to be in the spotlight. I was singing and dancing, and I was putting on fashion shows at family get-togethers, and all eyes on me. I'm going to be on a billboard. Lo and behold, I am on a billboard for Younique. I am on the first ever billboard that Younique has put out there. And I didn't know it. When I went to Utah to shoot some mascara inserts and they showed me that billboard, not only did I cry, but I called my mom and I said, I told you I was going to be on a billboard. And I manifested that into my life because I felt it. I knew that was going to happen. So when you're thinking about your why, what are you changing? How are you changing your life to change other people's life? Because it starts with one. It's you. You have such an opportunity at your hands. This is a gift. And when you're approaching people, if you look at it like I have a gift for you, and you display it that way, you're going to see such a change in people when you're speaking to them rather than, join my team, we sell mascara and we make money every 3 hours. That's not going to touch people. And I always tell my team, when you're speaking to somebody about the opportunity, you hit them in the heart. Don't hit them over the head. Because over the head is, we get paid every 3 hours. We sell mascara. We're part of the fastest growing direct sales company ever. We have amazing founders and co-founders. You're hitting them over the head. How are you going to change that person's life? You have to figure out what your why is, and you have to figure out what their why is, and what hits them in their heart. If they are broke and they can't pay their bills, they're going to lose their house, here, let me help you. Here's a gift. Okay? You have to manifest it. You have to feel it. I have my girls write down their goals every month. And I make them put them on their mirrors. And every morning I tell them, you go in the bathroom, and when you brush your teeth, you shut that door. And if you're mom's, you're probably going to have little hands underneath the door, and the kids trying to figure out what you're doing. You know you can't do anything without the kids. But really take a couple minutes for yourself, and I have them say their goals. But when they're saying it, there has to be an emotion tied to that goal. Because even though it's writing it down, and that's what you want, if you can't attach an emotion to your goal, that's all it is it's just some words on a piece of paper. You have to sit there and read your goals off one by one and go, how would this make me feel if I hit this goal? And really harp on that emotion that you're feeling as you're reciting that. That is when you manifest something into reality. When your thoughts and your words and your emotions tie together, that is when things start happening in your life. The law of attraction, Amber does it. I know tons of leaders within the company that do it. You have to make things happen for yourself. And it's not just speaking it to an existence, because your words and your thoughts might not match up. You might go, oh, I really want that new car. My family needs a new car so bad. But in your mind, you're going, oh, God, I don't know how I'm going to do this. You cannot. You have your thoughts and your words and your emotions have to tie to it. And it has to do the same thing with your why. So please, when you're sitting down and you're trying to figure out what your why is, or you're asking other people what their why is, and they might give you a very generic response, because not a lot of people know how to manifest feelings into thoughts and words. Guide them, help them. If you need help trying to figure out what your real why is, because now some of you are probably going, oh, I wonder if my why is a real why. message me, come to me after, I'll guide you. I really want you to feel emotional about your goal. I want it to hit you in the stomach where you're either crying or you got butterflies like you just met your husband for the first time all over again. Okay? So, if anything, find your why. It's what drives you, because when you're down and out, that's what you're going to have to think back to. And it's the only thing that's going to keep you going besides your why sisters are going to be rooting you along. So